As a 21st century teacher, sometimes it just feels like let's keep moving, let's keep moving. What if I told you there was a learning management solution that was not only cloud-based, but incredibly adaptive, creative, and a great way to collect data? Google Apps for Education as a learning platform is designed for ease of communication and movement between all of the available applications to create a multimedia-based online learning environment. The design of this platform is from years of data collection by Google. As a learning management platform, it has gone through many significant updates in the last 2 years to become an aesthetically pleasing as well as robust platform for data collection and creativity. Those two things seem really dichotomous, but the suite of applications plus third-party plugins offers the user a myriad of options for creating content as part of a participatory culture in the social and classroom settings while allowing the teacher to collect data in multiple ways. One of the most wonderful examples of data collection I have used is a simple Google form connected to a Google Sheet for results. This allows students to check in when they come into class. What is your mood today? Did you eat today? Anything I should know? This feeds into a spreadsheet that gives a color-coded response. Green for okay, yellow for they are struggling, red for they are in a bad place. You need to check in with them in person, and there is something significant going on. The easiest way to find Google Classroom is to simply Google search it, Google Classroom. Once you get it to come up, you will find there's a link Google Classroom in all. It also shows you the icon, which if you've gone there before will show up in your box of boxes, and you can just click on it and it'll take you to Google Classroom. Now what we're going to do is you're looking at my already existing classrooms, but let's create a new one. So go to the plus sign, create class. You're going to get a box that gives you some things to enter in just so you can categorize your class depending on your situation. So for us, we're going to call this class name, which is also required, how to. Under section, I'm going to use staff because I'm going to use this for my staff. And under subject, I'm going to call it Google Apps for Education. Now you could put a room number in if you're doing this in a very, in situ place. Here's my classroom. It's kind of got a funky theme, so let's change that. So you have a bunch of stock themes you could use, but you can also import your own. I think I'm going to use one of the stock themes this time. So let's go to General, and I'm going to choose a theme, and then we'll get rolling. So I've changed it. It doesn't show up right away on the screen, but it will once I refresh the page. And then in the left is the class code. Now that's the thing you need to give your students in order for them to enroll. You can go to the settings tab and get it as well and display it, or you can email it to them. So that's how you initially create a class. So let's have a look at one I've already created. So there's the 3 tabs for organization, and Stream is the first tab, which is kind of an RSS feed, like Twitter or something like that, shows everything that's gone on, but Classroom is where the magic happens. So you can create an assignment, you can create a quiz, you can create questions, materials, reuse posts, and organize it by topic. I've organized mine by topic. If you look, typography, sticker, skills, logos, etc., 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 it just gives me containers to put assignments and materials in for kids to find. Now, assignments look like that clipboard with some writing, and that's where they can submit files. And materials is if you just want to show them, hey, look at this video, or hey, look at this article, you can do that as well, and that looks like the page with the corner. And if you would like to have a class discussion in the form of a question, you can choose a question. Insert the question in some instructions, you can grade it, give a due date, and you can have it so that they can reply to each other and they can edit their own responses. This one is set up as short answer, but it could be just a multiple choice check question. Now, if we go to a quiz assignment, this is going to use one of the Google Apps for Education suite applications, which is Google Forms. And in another video, I will show you how that all works, but it's great and it's really easy to use, and you can set it up and have it in your Google Classroom feed. You could reuse a post. Now, reusing a post means it's going to open right now all of the posts I've done in this particular classroom. I could reuse it if I wanted to, or I can go back to all of the classes I have archived, pick a class from a long time ago or recently, and go through its posts, and I can reuse one. And when you choose to reuse one, you just click the reuse button in the right, and it will, if the checkbox is checked, create all copies, new copies of everything that you had attached. People. This is kind of important. This is where all of your students, all of the teachers, all of the EAs lie. So there you can see I am teacher. If I had an EA, they'd be a teacher too. And then there's students. And there's all of my students in this particular class. And you have actions you can do for each student. So if you check off a student, you have the ability to email them, to remove them, and mute them. Mute them just means they can't participate in conversations. Within classwork, the other two things you have is Google Calendar, which is a full Google Calendar. It shows when all of the due dates are. I'm going to go back to April here because I have a whole bunch more that you can see. And it's all the assignments and when they were due, and the kids can look at it anytime. Or adult learners if you're using adult learners. The next thing is the class folder. This is your window into everything that's been handed in by assignment name. So each of these folders is an assignment. And if I click on one, let's do typography, for example, I'm going to get everything that was shared with me as a submission to the assignment. So there's all of the typography assignments that were submitted to me. There's another way to find it. You can go through Drive and then go up to the search icon, search bar, and type in Classroom. And then the folder will pop up and you can get it that way as well. So you don't actually have to be in Google Classroom to find everything that was submitted to you. Two ways, multiple ways. Google's great for that. It has multiple ways of doing everything. And then on the left-hand side, you can see all my topics. So students try and navigate that way. Let's go directly into one of my assignments so I can show you how the marking works. So first it's laid out with the instructions and then a link to my website, which is where I house all of my assignments. And you can see turned in, assigned, graded. I've already graded this one, but let's go into turned in. And now you can see there's a list of all the students on the left-hand side. At the top, what it was out of. And then on the right-hand side, the blurred part is all of the assignments. Let's click on one. So this particular student submitted their assignments. There are 4 files you can see on the right here. And then I have a place to add a comment and give them a grade. And then it can be returned to them when it's done. Now, if you use the little cogwheel on the right-hand side, you have the ability to download all of your grades to a CSV or to copy them to Google Sheets. So I've copied it to Google Sheets. Here's all of my assignments with every student's name. It even gives me a percentage of what they've completed. And I can use it just like Excel and add, formulas, etc. It shows me under the tab where it's housed in Classroom, but I could move it to any folder I like if you don't want to have it housed in Classroom. Going back to the beginning of the class, let's go to people again, and let's go to a particular student. Now, if you click on a particular student, you can actually see sort of a quick check of what they've gotten done. It's got their grades, it's got what's turned in, what's late, what's missing, everything. And you can actually filter it on the left-hand side by what you want to see. If it's turned in, returned with grade, missing, any of those kinds of things. It's a great check-in for every student. G Suite, including all of its vast applications, is an incredible way to create a cloud-based management solution with all the third-party social media plugins you can imagine. Jump into the 21st century, where we can hopefully get rid of some of these memes.